The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. Before we get started, we do want to make sure that everyone on the webinar can hear us. So if you can hear me speaking, if you can just raise your hand, that'll let us know that the audio is working correctly. Okay, perfect. Thank you. We've got one hand raised. Okay. The time is 10:30. It is November 24th, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the stakeholder meeting. So welcome and thank you for attending the State Board of Veterinary Medicine stakeholder meeting via webinar today. Before we get started, we'd like to introduce the staff members from the Division of Professions and Occupations that are present. My name is Elena Kemp, and I'm a regulatory coordinator with the division. Also attending, we have Karen Phelan, she's the program director, Darcy Magnuson, she's the regulatory analyst, and Christina Jones, she is one of our program specialists. In compliance with the governor's orders regarding COVID-19, the division has transitioned to a platform that is 100% virtual, and we appreciate your flexibility. As many of you have been to DORA stakeholder meetings before, we would like to reiterate the importance of your comments today. DORA makes decisions every day that may affect your life and your business, and your input is vital in the rulemaking process. Throughout this process, our goal is to create regulations that clarify and explain legislation, ensure minimum competency to enter and continue to practice, and provide only what is absolutely necessary for consumer protection without creating unnecessary barriers to the marketplace. Your input will be part of the information that goes to the board as it considers adopting revised rules. More specifically, today we will be discussing the revisions to rules 1.4E, F, and Rule 1.12C. These revisions are being proposed to provide clarity concerning the requirements of sections 12.315.104, subsection 19, and 12.20.202. The subsection is 2C2 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. These revisions are required by the Office of Legislative Legal Services. So this meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the website at a later date. And as the stakeholder meeting is held solely via webinar, please raise your hand by using the hand icon if you'd like to speak, and we will unmute your line so you'll be heard by everyone. Or you can type your comment in the question section and we can read it aloud. If you are planning on providing comments, we do ask that you please state your name and who you represent, if any organization. Feel free to provide either general comments on the rule changes or specific comments on the proposed language. Keep your comments limited to 3 to 5 minutes or less, and try not to repeat something that was already said. If you're in full agreement with something that was already stated by someone else, we will note that. So just a couple of ground rules and housekeeping matters. If you are using audio through your computer, please remember to put your phones on vibrate or turn them off. And whether or not you're using computer or phone audio, try to keep background noises to a minimum when speaking. So we currently have the rules shown on the screen. And at this point, we are going to open up the floor for participants to comment. So once again, all you have to do is raise your hand or type your comments in the question section. Okay, looks like we have somebody that wants to speak. Ms. Diane Matz. I am unmuting your line. It looks like you're self-muted.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for that assistance. Yeah, unmuting.
Yes, absolutely.
And good morning, everybody. I have had a chance. So my name is Diane Matt, and I am the CEO of the Colorado Veterinary Medical Association. And if I am understanding this correctly, these are the rules that were reviewed in the middle of October, and they've gone to Legislative Legal Services, and they have made corrections or changes to 2 sections in the rules that have been previously reviewed. Am I doing that correctly?
That's correct. We did get feedback from the Office of Legislative Legal Services saying that the rules needed to further clarify the statutes. So the public has seen these rules, but these are the changes that were recommended by OLLS.
Great. Okay. I think I understand what has happened here. CVMA doesn't have any any negative comments about this. This looks fine to us. They seem to clarify and actually refer more clearly to the statute. So the only comment that I would make is that at the tail end of this rule, there are 2 rules that are numbered 1.23. And I know that's not on the docket today, but I thought you might want to know. There's 1.23 reporting conviction, judgment, administrative proceedings. And then there's 1.23 temporary licensure of veterinarians. And then there's 1.24, which is expanded scope for veterinarians. So I just didn't know if that had escaped someone's notice or that was intentional, but I thought you should know.
Thank you. We'll definitely look into getting that corrected.
Thanks, Diane. This is Darcy, and that's also because of the emergency rules that were adopted, I think. So that's probably the issue for the numbering, but we'll take a look at that and see if we need to correct anything when we file these, because we can do that through this process. But my assumption is it's just because of the emergency rules that were adopted that we messed up the numbering.
Sure. And do we anticipate that at some time these emergency rules will no longer appear here, or do they appear forever even though they aren't in effect?
So once the emergency rules expire, they will be taken out of the rules.
Okay.
It's just like they disappear.
Okay, great. And Darcy, welcome back.
Thank you.
That's really all that I had to offer today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any further comments. I don't see any questions in the question section or hands raised. So I guess we'll give it just a few more minutes and then we'll proceed with closing this meeting. So it's currently 10:38. We can wait until 10:39 just in case someone's still typing. Alrighty. So we will proceed. So thank you for participating in today's meeting. The stakeholder comments and program recommendations will be presented to the board prior to the permanent rulemaking hearing, and that hearing is tentatively scheduled for February 11th, 2021. That concludes the stakeholder meeting, and thank you again for your participation. I'm going to end the webinar now.